Okay, Assalamu alaikum class. I hope you all are fine. So, our today's topic is about delivery and guidelines for effective delivery and how you can make your presentation more effective in your when you are delivering your presentation. So, as you know that in the last lectures we were discussing about how to plan the presentation and how to outline and structure your presentation. So the third part of formal presentation is now how to deliver your presentation. So let me show you the slides. Okay. Now, as you know that we are learning the step-by-step formation of a formal presentation, and we planned our topics of presentation and we organized our data according to the systematic structure of organizing the data, like proper introduction, proper supporting details, and a proper conclusion. Now when we have the data collected and organized, now here comes the position where we have to deliver that presentation. So what things we can do to deliver that presentation? There are different modes of delivery. First, you have to know the different modes of delivery, that how we can deliver our presentation. So this delivery part is that part of presentation that holds the attention and interest of the audience, because at that time they or whatever you have planned, whatever you have organized, at that time audience were not there. Okay, now it is a time when audience is in front of you and now you are going to deliver what you have done before that. Okay, so our manner of presentation, our vocal inflections, our poses, our facial expressions, our gestures, all these things come under this delivery part. But before moving to the delivery part, you should have a fair idea about the different modes of delivery. So here you can see that we have four modes of delivery. First one is extemporaneous, second one is impromptu, third one is manuscript, and fourth one is memorization. So as a presenter, any in any presentation and in any context of presentation, you should have to opt any one. So this would be sometimes depend upon you, and sometimes it depends upon the situation as well. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that what are these four modes of delivery, and then we will discuss that which type of delivery you are following in your coming presentation. Okay, so first one is extemporaneous. Extemporaneous is considered as the most effective presentation among all these four. So what a presenter does in this type of delivery, he prepared the presentation and he rehearsed that presentation. Okay, so he has prepared all, he has planned, he has organized the presentation very well, and he rehearsed the presentation before delivering it in front of the audience. So in this mode of delivery, preparation is very well organized. Okay, so the presenter has organized and collected the data, and he rehearsed his presentation before delivering. So this is that type of presentation. We have different advantages of this presentation because we have ample time to prepare, to plan. So we have, our data is very well organized. We have researched a lot, so we have a lot of content in our mind as well. So this is a very effective way in which we in our preparation, and very well mannered preparation makes us presentation more spontaneous as well. Because when a presenter is well prepared, he would be very confident, and at the same time, when he would be confident, he would be fluent as well, because he has a very firm grip on his or her presentation. Okay, this is that kind of delivery. Second one is impromptu. presentation, in which what you do is you were not prepared because you were not informed beforehand that you have to deliver something. It happened sometimes when there is a meeting and you were supposed to call that you have to speak and you are the speaker of today's presentation and you have to speak. So at that time you were not prepared. So for this presentation you need a very good fluent you need to have a very fluent English in your communication, because if you are not fluent, so you can't go in this particular delivery, because at that time, because you are sudden informed that you have to present, so it means you haven't prepared any content. So at that sort of moment when you are quickly revising or quickly getting the data or grabbing the information about that particular topic in which you have to speak, that would it sometimes it happens because in this particular mode of delivery there might be some disadvantages because you were not prepared, you haven't collected any data. So there might be rambling of different points. Okay, so there might not be any organization of the content because you are thinking in a thinking process, so you might skip or you might add new information in the last in the ending of your presentation as well, because you were not prepared and you were not organized in your presentation. So this is the impromptu presentation delivery. Manuscript is when you have a written speech and you just have to read. That is a manuscript delivery. Our Nawaz Sharif and different politicians do use this manuscript delivery because they have the paper and they are reading that. But for this, if you have to opt this because you are supposed to do this, so what you can, your reading skills must be very effective, because it doesn't look like that you are reading or it should be, your reading should be effective. Let's suppose if I'm reading first line, hold the attention and interest of the audience. So this is that you shouldn't be monotone. Okay? So if you are reading, there should be an effective reading, like hold the attention and interest of the audience. Okay? So while reading, there should be variation in your tone as well, if you are opting the manuscript delivery. Fourth one is memorization. This memorization delivery is in between extemporaneous and manuscript. As I told you that in extemporaneous, we are very well prepared. We were informed beforehand, and we have rehearsed our presentation as well. But in manuscript, we have a script and we have to just read. But memorization is in between these two. What you have to do is you don't need to. We sometimes memorize only the main parts, but sometimes we have the cards, okay, in our actual presentation. So what we do is we memorize the content, but when we are going to deliver, and we have the written script, but we have memorized that. We are not looking at the written script. Okay, so that is the presentation where we have memorized all the content. You can say we have crammed all the content and we are delivering it now. But when it comes to cramming or memorizing the content, there might be disadvantages, because when we are speaking, audience can judge that you have memorized because you might be monotonous in your presentation. Okay, and sometimes because you have memorized it, and sometimes when you have memorized, then you can get frustrated because you can forget some words or sentences, or that would be a bad impression to your audience as well. So these are the four modes of delivery. So best one and effective one is extemporaneous, and rather than choosing other three. So what do you think that in your upcoming presentation, which mode of delivery you are following? Class,
Yes,
जी
ma'am.
आप कौन सा मोड ऑफ डिलीवरी फॉलो कर रहे हैं इन योर अपकमिंग प्रेजेंटेशन?
मैं फर्स्ट वन, वही आपने कहा बेस्ट है।
Yes, and we are following that because we are preparing our content, we are organizing our content. So that is, we are using the extemporaneous mode of delivery. So this is about mode of deliveries. Now the fourth part of your formal presentation is guidelines for effective delivery. That how you can make your delivery more effective. Because at the end, this is not about the passing the words. It's about passing the idea and transferring the idea to your audience. So how we can make our presentation more and delivery more effective? There are different ways of making our presentation more effective. First one is the verbal elements. You know, verbal related to words. Okay? So how we can make choose our words to make our delivery more effective. First one is word picture. You can add the pictures of your words because it is the thing that when you add graphics and when you add the pictures, it activates the right brain of the audience. So that activation of the right brain make the audience to keep that those pictures and graphics in their mind. And when you are using any table or figures or pictures or visual representation of your words, they might take interest in your presentation as well because pictorial representation or graphical representation grab their attention. Okay? Second one is warm words. What is the warm words? Here is a quotation written for this thing that one kind warm word can warm 3 winter months. Okay? It means that warm word can hit the emotionality and trigger their responses. It hit the emotions of your audience and they can trigger the uh, they can trigger their response. Okay, so warm words can be very effective rather than using the cold words that can leave the uneasiness and unsureness about their responses. Okay, so here I want to give you an example. If you have seen the advertisement about juices, okay, first they use the word juice, okay, and then they have started now using the word pulp. ठीक है, it's a fresh and pulpy orange. So they started using more warm word which hit your emotionality. ठीक है, which hit your emotions. Like we use word aroma, we use word delicious. So first, before we use the word, like it's very uh, uh, time saving or such kind of words, you have to hit their emotions. ठीक है, if I said that this is a juice, and if I said that this is an original pulp, so what would which would be more effective for you? Yes.
Ma'am,
Okay.
original
So
pulp.
these are the things which the more natural word will if you use makes your presentation more effective. Okay. Third one is similes and metaphors. So similes and metaphors are when you compare different things together. Okay. So if with the abstract things especially, अगर हम इसको इस तरह बोलें that building a business is like building an empire. ठीक है, so this is the thing when we compare or we compare and contrast of different things to give them an imagination of the things you are talking about.
मैम आवाज मैम आवाज डिस्टॉर्ट हो रही है
एक
आपकी।
मिनट, अब आ रही है क्लियर?
यस मैम, अब क्लियर है।
ओके, okay, I was talking about okay, next one is impact words. Impact words are, I told you before as well, that whenever you are presenting, don't use the word I. you use more we and you. These pronouns use more because this gives them empathetic attitude of yours. ठीक है? Because if you are giving them this idea that you are considering them, you have an interest in their interest. ठीक है? You are considering their needs, their wants. So they might consider you as well, and it makes your presentation more effective as well. So fifth one is smooth flow. How you can have a smooth flow in your presentation to make a connection and a movement of your different ideas within a presentation very smoothly and very effectively. There are different techniques to add a flow and add a smoothness in your presentation. These techniques are called different transitional words. Okay, you can use different transitional words to join the words and join the sentences as well. First one is bridge. Like you can use a bridge is a word which connects different words or different sentences as well. Let's suppose if I'm saying that we completed the project in January, meanwhile other developments were taking place. So this meanwhile is linking those two different sentences. Okay, if I'm saying you that I am teaching you because you have your presentation on the next week, so I am linking two different things together by saying because. So these words meanwhile, because, furthermore, moreover, these are the bridges which are the transitional words, so which you can use to have a smooth transition of your speech. Second one is number. You can use firstly, secondly, thirdly in your presentation. Such kind of words you can also use in your presentation to have a smooth transition. Third one is a trigger. A trigger is a repetition of the same word or phrase or to link one topic. Okay? Here is an example that was what a financial situation was like in March. Now I will tell you what it is like today. Okay? So you can link your previous statement with the next statement while linking it, while triggering it. That if I'm saying that that was all about verbal elements, now I'm going to tell you the next, which is non-verbal elements. Okay, so this is the triggering that I am linking the last one with the next one. Okay, internal summary. Sometimes in within your presentation, if you have a lot of topics and lot of subtopics to discuss, what you can do, if you are moving from one point to another point, you can summarize previous topic or previous point in one or two lines, and then you can move to the next. Sometimes I also use this when I'm talking about that modes of delivery, and then I move to the effective delivery. So I can say that this is all about the mode of delivery, that we have four different modes of delivery. Now next move to how we can make our a presentation more effective. Okay, this is what I'm doing, that within my presentation I am summarizing my one part of presentation. Okay, this is internal summary. Next one is signpost. Signpost tells our audience where we are in our presentation. Okay, can you see this picture? That when we are talking about one point and when we are moving to the next point, you can preview your whole point as well, and you can tell that now we are moving to the next point. Okay, list is when you enlist your points. When you say that for number one is this, number two is this, number three is this. This technique can also be used. And pauses. When we were talking about non-verbal communication, we talked that pause is a thing which also tells the audience that you are moving from one point to another. And when we talked about the conclusion, we said that this is also a technique of any presenter, that when he or she is ending his or her presentation, so he or she lower his or her voice. Okay, and he or she takes a pause as well. So at that time, audience has the idea that now he or she is going to end the presentation. So moving from one topic to another topic, if you are taking a pause which is a bit longer, that also gives your audience an idea that you are moving from one point to another point. Now the next one is physical movement. Now have you seen that when I talked about pause, and when I finished talking about pause, I take a pause as well, and then I move to the physical movement. Okay, this is how you, when you are moving from one point to another, you can take a pause. Okay, so what about physical movement? Physical movement is when you move towards your whiteboard, when you move towards your slide. It also shows that you are moving to another point. Take it when you look at the slide that okay, our next point is okay. So that also gives the idea that you are moving to another point. Okay. So these are related to the verbal element, that how you can add different techniques, different transitional words, and different verbal techniques to make your delivery more effective. So, before talking about non-verbal elements, I want you to tell me that when we talked about non-verbal communication, which things we said that we should do to make our presentation more effective in our non-verbal communication.
मैम हमारा ड्रेस,
Yes.
मैम हमारा पोस्चर, हमारा वे ऑफ टॉक, हम किस गेस्चर में खड़े हैं मैम,
Hmm.
दीज थिंग्स मैम इफेक्ट करती हैं हमारी नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन में।
Hmm. What type of
Ma'am,
dress we should wear?
pronunciation.
G. What type of dress we should wear? Personal appearance was the first point, na?
मैम मैम हम फॉर्मल ड्रेस पहनते हैं प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए।
Yes. Or what type of facial expression we should have?
मैम आपकी आवाज़ कट रही है, दोबारा क्वेश्चन कीजिए।
I'm saying that what type of facial expression we should have. Facial
Smiley.
expression. बताओ ईमान, फेशियल एक्सप्रेशन कैसे होना चाहिए?
मैम आप एक्सप्रेशन की बात पूछ रही हो ना?
हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
मैम स्माइली होना चाहिए और उनकी तरफ अट्रैक्ट कर रहा हो, उनको आपकी आंखों से लग रहा हो कि वो आप उन्हीं से बात कर रहे हो।
So we can say that we have to make an eye contact with the audience.
यस मैम।
What type of posture we should have?
मैम वो आपके हाथ जो हैं वो पॉकेट्स में नहीं होने चाहिए, और
Or
मूवमेंट ऑफ हैंड्स।
yes, there should be a proper movement of hands, and there should be a straight posture. So these all things which you already know, because we have discussed about non-verbal communication a lot. All these things are written here. You can say first line, wear a formal dress, okay, and avoid accessories, wearing more accessories, simple accessories. Okay, it's about your personal appearance. Then second point is about facial expression, which we already discussed, that do not show your anger or irritation. There should be an enthusiastic expression on your face, and you can ask question. The audience can ask you the question, and be polite when they are asking the question. Third point is eye contact. You should have to maintain the eye contact with all of your audience, not at one side. Okay. Fourth point is your gestures. Okay, that shouldn't be monotonous, and avoid putting your hands in your pocket, and avoid fiddling with the keys or your tie. Okay, so these are the things. Next one is posture, that you should have to move. You shouldn't be stand at one point, but your movement shouldn't be that excessive and that shouldn't be less. It should be a movement that is more appropriate and well timed. Okay, so move, walk in your presentation, but no, don't much, not much, and not less. ठीक है, और straight posture होना चाहिए आपका. And we also talked about proxemics, that the distance or space, so as they are coming under our social distance, so social proxemics, so there should be a difference of 4 to 12 feet with your audience. Okay, so you should focus on your voice as well. So these are the things which you have learned already and you have to opt in your presentation. And then we talked about our paralinguistic features as well. In paralinguistic features, we discussed about pauses, volume, pitch, rate. We talked about these things. Yes, class, we talked about these things.
मैम आपकी आवाज ही नहीं आ रही, बहुत हल्की आवाज आ रही।
मैम आपकी
I,
आवाज चली गई है। हेलो।
अच्छा, अब आ रही है?
यस मैम, अब आ रही
Yes,
है।
ma'am.
अच्छा, मैं कह रही हूँ कि आफ्टर नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन we also talked about paralinguistic features. What are those? Paralinguistic features better, pitch, rate, volume. We discussed
मैम
that.
अभी फिर नहीं आवाज आ रही।
अच्छा,
आवाज काफी कट कट के आ रही है।
एक मिनट. अब आ रही है आवाज?
यस मैम।
Okay, I was talking about paralinguistic features. Like when we talked about non-verbal communication, we also talked about paralinguistic features as well. Our pitch, our rate, okay, our pauses. So these are the things which we have discussed. So here in the vocal elements, I am going to just revise those top points, that what type of pauses we should have, what type of volume we should use. So there should, these are the points which are written here, that what are the tips for you to use in your delivery. First one is speak with enthusiasm and sincerity. Okay, your vocals should be look like that you are very confident and you are very enthusiastic. So there, your voice shouldn't rate shouldn't be too fast. Okay, set your pace and it shouldn't be too low, slow, and too fast. And your volume should be this that your end of audience sitting at the end can hear you. And use the pauses appropriately. Like when you are moving from one topic to another, there should be a pause. Other thing is there shouldn't be, your tone shouldn't be monotonous. Yeah, there should be a proper stress and unstress pattern, which we have discussed. I am not going in detail because we have discussed it already. And your articulation of each word should be very clear so that they can understand whatever you are saying. Last one is pitch, that your rise and fall of your presentation, which makes your presentation effective because it avoids the monotonous nature of your presentation. So these are the things which makes your presentation more effective, and most of these things we have discussed in detail when we discussed about non-verbal communication. Okay, so I'm going to revise all the things which makes your presentation more effective. First one, we discussed about modes of delivery, which are four: extemporaneous, impromptu, manuscript, and memorization. And a most effective one is extemporaneous, in which you have ample time to plan your presentation and you to rehearse your presentation. Okay, so next one is how we can make our presentation more effective. There are three different ways. First one, make your verbal elements effective. Second one makes your non-verbal elements effective. Then makes your vocals effective. Verbal elements may most important thing is use transitional words. Okay, use a proper transitional words to have a smooth transition and smooth flow of your presentation. And other thing which is very important is non-verbal communication, in which you have to use proper face expression, which should be very enthusiastic and very confident, and make your eye contact with the audience. And more things are there should be a proper posture. If you are sitting or standing, there should be a proper posture which we have discussed in our previous classes. And when we talked about vocals, there shouldn't be a monotone. Okay? There should be a stress and stress pattern to make your presentation more effective. And your volume and your voice should be clear, and there should be a proper pauses. So these are the things which we want to tell you about formal presentation. I hope you will follow these instructions and you will keep using these instructions whenever we have presentations. And we have our presentation in the next week, which we are going to start from Friday. So these four chapters which we have covered so far. First one is communication. Second one is non-verbal communication. Third one is listening skills, in which we did lot of listening practice. And fourth one is formal presentation. This is the whole syllabus for your midterm examination. We are left with only one topic, that is stage fright, which we will discuss in our Wednesday's class, and then your midterm syllabus is going to end. And please do read these notes. I came to know that you don't have the notes, so I'm going to upload the book in which you have your second, third, and fourth chapter, not the first one. I hope that you have the hard copy of the first chapter. So start reading these four chapters, because you have your papers on 6th April. Okay, when I will get with the date sheet. I will give you the date sheet, but I'm informing you that you have your midterms from 6th April. So start reading the notes, and please, if you have any problem, kindly text me and prepare for your midterm exams. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.